veterans coming home from overseas that were unemployed as of 2015. At the same time, by 2022, there are going to be 1.4 million projected open computer science jobs and only 400,000 computer science students to fill that gap. That is the community that we serve as Operation Code. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and our mission is the same as Lincoln's second inaugural address: to care for whom who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and for his orphan. Our mission is to get veterans and transitioning military personnel and military spouses jobs in the tech industry. We teach coding, we teach software development, and we teach this all. We do scholarships, mentorship, and such programs. These are a couple of our success stories. Andrea Griffiths was an E5 U.S. Army Sergeant, Latina veteran, mother of two, started learning with Free Code Camp, received an internship through Operation Code at GitHub, and works as a community manager at GitHub. John Deng, U.S. Army, Field Artillery Lieutenant, deployed to Iraq, learned to code while he was in Iraq, attended GitHub Code Comp on scholarship, went to Hack Reactor, and he's working at Snapchat. A couple more of my success stories, but you get the idea. Our whole mission is to take these highly motivated people who have demonstrated a sense of service to their country and to the people around them, and to get them jobs in the tech industry. These are some of the programs that we offer. We do a lot of outreach. We build local communities. We have a community here in Boston, but we have around 19 communities nationwide at this point to provide computer science education to service members, veterans, and military spouses. A lot of military bases, as some of you may know, are not necessarily in the hot spots of urban culture. Some of them are in the South, some are in the Midwest, some of them are not necessarily areas that are heavily trafficked by the tech industry. So we try to build communities in more rural areas to help learn software development. We do scholarships for coding boot camps, such as Startup Institute right here in Boston, or Full Stack Academy, or Flatiron School in New York City. And we also provide scholarships so folks who are coming off active duty military have the opportunity to attend conferences like DockerCon or GitHub Code Conf or Red Hat Summit right here, once again, in Boston. We do a lot of mentorship exercises, and what I mean by that is we'll get senior software engineers who might work at Apple or GitHub or Microsoft and pair them up with new learners, because we believe that mentorship and relationship aspect is the most important part of really learning to code and really being successful in the tech industry. We believe that a lot of what people perceive as technical versus non-technical is really cultural, and we're here to help bridge that cultural gap. We help schools accept what some of you may be familiar with the 9/11 GI Bill, which helps returning veterans pay for college. We're working to help get that approved for more coding boot camps so that veterans can come home and learn JavaScript, or learn Ruby on Rails, or learn the latest frameworks. So our software engineering mentors, I named a couple of the companies, but we have all kinds of different disciplines. If somebody wants to get into UX design, we have mentors there. Folks who are more interested in products, or folks who are more interested in DevOps. We have a lot of opportunities there to get folks qualified on Linux, get them qualified on cloud infrastructure, AWS, that sort of thing. We are entirely decentralized. Our team is all across the US. We started on Slack, and we have scaled on Slack for the past year and 3 months. All of our infrastructure is open source on GitHub. Everything we do is open source. Our website's open source. Our mentorship program is open source. The whole database, everything is open. A little bit about our team. As you can see, David Molina, our CEO, is in Portland, Oregon. I'm here in Boston, Massachusetts, as the COO. Our CTO is in Denver. We started decentralized, and we've been able to build out our technology entirely decentralized. Each of us is military veterans. David's an infantry captain. I'm a signal captain. That means in technical communications. And our CTO is U.S. Marine Corps. I want to talk a little bit about our impact. Since we got our 501c3 about 15 months ago, we've gotten about just over 3,200 members. We've distributed over $112,000 in scholarships for veterans, and 19 Operation Code Chapter 2. Well, that's 20 now. We just got a new one in Japan. So these are some of our sponsors. I want to thank each one of these companies for helping support our mission to help the military community. For those of you who don't know, homelessness Mental health issues are very prevalent among the military community, and helping provide folks with jobs, especially jobs in the tech industry, we consider that the next mission. We consider giving back through open source, through contributing to something larger, to be their next mission and their next service to not just their country, but to the industry as a whole. We need your help. We're looking for mentors. We're looking for folks who want to give back. We're looking for engineers who want to give back either with code or by teaching how to code. We're looking for companies who are interested in helping sponsor scholarships or helping us sponsor our mission to build more chapters across the country. We're here, folks. Come see us. Thank you. Go for it.
What's the biggest challenge you have right now?
The biggest challenge we have right now is that we're an all-volunteer organization. None of us take salaries. None of us even takes this part-time. So we are trying to get to a point. As you all know, it's possible as engineers to build scalable systems. Human relationships, organizations, a little more challenging. So what we're working on right now is trying to find ways we can scale our organization, either through endowments or through grants, or through corporate sponsorships, like helping corporate social responsibility programs, such as if you have an HR or marketing team who wants to contribute directly to veterans who are transitioning out, we can facilitate those relationships. Any other questions?
I'm a military brat, and I noticed you mentioned the families, the spouses that support the family, that keep the things together, and children. So I think that's very important to not forget them. So what type of jobs are you looking for the spouses or the families?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because the military spouse community we've been really trying to reach, and what we've done is a lot of our chapters actually have been started by the military spouses on post. We're providing scholarships. Flatiron School, actually, we just announced a scholarship specifically for military spouses to learn full stack web development. So these are some of the offerings we have right now. What we really need are community development. We really want to keep our community engaged. We really want to build more communities in each military base, so folks know that, like, you know, first of all, I think there's a preconception for folks who aren't coming from like computer science background, they need a PhD from Stanford to create a web page. We want to like try to overcome that. So a good part of that is by building communities where you can talk to each other and learn from each other locally, not just online.
And I would love to be a mentor too, so we'll stay.
Great. Are you sure? I got a lot of t-shirts. I got to get rid of these folks, so. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah?
Firstly, thank you for your service, sir. I'm curious if you have any examples of how military leadership has transitioned into, you know, in addition to your case studies in the slide deck there, any kind of exemplary examples of how that leadership transitioned into Operation Code successes.
Yeah, absolutely. So how many folks here are software developers, software engineers? Raise your hand. Okay, how many of you have done an open source contribution? All right, a few fewer, but like, that's still a significant amount. The way that we see it is that a good leader in the software industry, a good leader in open source, is the kind of leader that the military works to cultivate. We have an acronym in the US Army called LDR-SHIP leadership: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. We view that the best open source leaders are the ones who embody these qualities as well. Yeah, you'll get the odd, Linus Torvalds, he's got a style all to his own, and I don't begrudge the man that. But like, we have a lot of leaders who really focus on cultivating open source communities, bringing out the best in those communities through empowering them individually, through investing in individual people. And I think that's the thing that really leads to positive outcomes, not just the open source community, but as organizations as a whole. Any other questions?
Hey Connor, how's it going?
How you doing?
I was wondering if you, in your experience, have found any particular industries, projects, or companies that your trained veterans are very well suited to helping fulfill.
That's an excellent question. What we've seen lately is the growing presence for DevOps, actually. And the reason for that is that a lot of the skills that the military teaches in terms of IT and technical communications infrastructure are all at the physical layer, and it's really not that big a leap to go from the physical layer to a lot of the, these are the kind of organizations, I'm sure you've heard of them, like, hey, we're looking for 10 years of experience in Windows Server 2016, those kind of organizations. Like, what we do is we help get them up to speed with some of the latest stuff like Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, stuff like that. Any other questions?